they generous or miserly? And we're not just talking about money. And in fact, we're rarely talking about money. This isn't just someone who's miserly and they're not willing to give you a raise. Are they miserly with their time? Are they miserly with their warmth? Are they miserly with other resources? Are they unable to give anything unless there's a clear return on investment? I've known people who wouldn't even give you a smile unless there was a clear return on investment, the what's in it for me factor. If they're super miserly to the point that everything has to have a return and there has to be something in it for them, big red flag, get out, because all you are is what you can do for them. It's transactional. As long as you can do something for them, probably okay. But the second you hit a point where you can't do something for them, you'll just be tossed aside. And it doesn't matter if it's a dating relationship or an office relationship. Beige flag. When people have lived under scarcity for so long where they don't have the resources, they don't have the money, they don't have what they need to be able to get things done, capital, human or otherwise, they can tend to react out of scarcity. And it's not because it's transactional, it's because they're always afraid they're going to run out. But you have to give resources to be able to grow resources, whether that's money or people or anything else. These people you can usually logic with. If you can give them a good reason why these resources need to be put into something, they may be a little more open to it. It's a beige flag because it's not a hard and fast manipulative thing. It's more that they've become what their environment has made them. A green flag is going to be someone who is very generous with their time, with their resources, if they can be. It's a business. We get that. Businesses exist to make money. We get that. But you can be as generous as you can be with what you have to give. I think I've told this story before, but I used to know a CEO that every Friday morning he would have donuts with David. His office was open. His door was open. He was generous, right? Anybody could come in and talk to him, from housekeeping all the way up to whoever, the top board member. You could have a donut. I mean, how much generosity did it take exactly to give up that 1 hour of a week and a box of donuts? But that generosity is what allowed him to connect with his people. And it was a simple, simple thing. But I mean, I remember it decades later. Are they change resistant? You know, I have a background in change management. The way people handle change is a huge indicator of how they handle everything, because the only constant in the universe is change. If they can't handle change, we're all in big trouble. So if you have someone in that leadership position that is either like, nope, no change, we do it this way because this is how we've always done it and we've always done it like this, that's a big red flag, because it means things aren't going to get better. They're not listening, right? It's a lot like the being buried in language. They're not listening, and that's an issue. Someone who is resistant to change, who's just like, oh man, do we need to do this again? That's more of a beige flag. This could be someone that has change fatigue because they've been pushed to change too many times. This could be somebody who just, has seen change done poorly in their organization. People don't like change. It's hard. And a lot of times in these organizations, we get it thrust upon us and we feel that people don't understand the change or why we're doing it or how we should be doing it or how maybe we could do it better. But if they understand it's for the better of themselves and for the better of the organization, and they're willing to put in the time and effort in that case, that's a beige flag. They're change resistant, but they're not completely change avoidant. One other red flag, actually, before I let this go, are leaders that are very happy to continually thrust change on their people, but are unwilling to do it themselves. A lot of times the changes that are put in place, like say a new employee record system or a new medical record system or Workday, things like this, the leaders don't have to actually deal with. They don't actually use it very much. So they're more than happy to put in change after change after change after change without taking perspective taking of what this is doing to their people. And this is a problem. They're not willing to walk the talk. They're happy to make everybody else do it, but they aren't willing. That's a big red flag. A green flag is someone who actually takes the time to understand how these changes are affecting other people by talking to them themselves, by getting their hands dirty, by actually understanding perspectives. We're still not going to like change as a species. Humans don't like change. But there's a way to handle it and a way not to. In change management, we call this having sponsorship support. And it is one of the two things that make it for change to happen, that make change successful. Communication, sponsorship support, the two things that are always missing when change doesn't work, which again, according to the Association of Change Management Professionals, is like 60 to 70% of the time. As a sponsor, as a leader, get your hands dirty, be willing to dig in and actually learn what that change is. That's a huge green flag.